Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the FC's Football channel. And we are back with a match preview, or the look ahead for the Manchester United versus Bayern Munich game back in the Champions League. And I look like I've spilt a drink all down me. I haven't. That looks quite bad. What? I prefer not to speak. I haven't spilled something down me. But look, yeah, we're back in the Champions League after a year in the Europa League. We're back in the Champions League. It's not an easy start, is it? We're up against Bayern Munich. Obviously, they won the Champions League in 2020. Since we've obviously had Chelsea and Manchester City win it. So it weren't long ago they were Champions League winners. And even then, they're not a bad team, are they? They win the Bundesliga every year. They get quite far in the Champions League, even if they don't win it. They are a good team, Bayern Munich, now managed by a coach that won the Champions League with Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel. They're a good team, and it's going to be an exciting game to watch. A game, of course, we are doing a watch along for. So kickoff is at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So we will start the stream about 7:30. We'll go through the teams, a little bit of chit-chat, predictions, so on and so forth. You know the spiel already, especially if you are a long-term viewer. So please do tune in for that. Again, details are there. And there will be a link in the description to go watch it. But if you are subscribed, if you are getting that notification bell ticked, you'll, of course, be notified when we do go live for that. So, yeah, let's get doing that then, shall we? Coming into this game, of course, as I said, the Champions League, this will be our first game of the group stage, meaning all teams are on 0 points. So our group does, of course, contain Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. We, of course, did the group stage draw. Of course, we did get put into Group A. Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, as I just said. Now, of course, Champions League, it works. The group stage is, of course, where you finish, it all matters. First and second, of course, you qualify for the next round of the Champions League. If you get third, you drop down into the round of 32 in the Europa League. And of course, if you get fourth, you are out of Europe completely. So there's no way you can get into the Conference League. You're either Champions League, Europa League, or you're out. Now, Bayern Munich, they're a good side, come to it in fairly good form. United, on the other hand, we of course lost our last game, 3-1 to Brighton. In a game which, look, the less kind of said about it, the better. Do I think we were dreadful in that game? No. Were we good? Again, no, we weren't really that good, were we? It's a game where they outclassed us. They were better than us, Brighton. And I tell you what, I am fed up of Danny Welbeck and Pascal Gross. Always seems to score against Man United. It's a game we kind of just have to move on. I hope, obviously, in the last game, we did see that change of formation. We moved away from the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, which we've always seen Erik ten Hag deploy. And we went to a diamond in midfield. It didn't work. And I was really disappointed the fact we went to that diamond and we didn't win, because it kind of just felt like a nothing game. Like, what did we gain from that? We're not a step closer to trying to kind of playing how we want to play long term, and we've lost that game. So it seemed, for me, if you're changing the system that much, it's a game you then have to go on to win, and we didn't do that. So, unfortunate game with nothing really to take from. Looking at Bayern Munich, they are second in the Bundesliga. They've won 3 out of 4 so far this season. That draw coming to Bayer Leverkusen, obviously managed by Xabi Alonso. And it was a last-minute equaliser for Leverkusen that got them that draw in a game which Bayern Munich largely were the better side. As you kind of come to expect from Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, they are the best team in that division by a country mile. So seeing them dominate football matches should come as no surprise to anyone. However, look, they've got a few players injured. Manuel Neuer, obviously first choice goalkeeper, broke his leg. Was it skiing last season? He is still out. So Sven Ulreich, I think it's Sven Ulreich, is it? He will undoubtedly start in goal for him. Rafael Guerreiro obviously joined on a free from Borussia Dortmund this year. He is also out. Again, Alphonso Davies will just be guaranteed to start. But would he start anyway? Almost definitely. So when you're looking at key players for Bayern Munich, they've got such a wealth of quality. It's hard to pinpoint just a few. Harry Kane, arguably one of the best strikers in world football. They signed him for a lot of money this summer by Munich. He's a top quality player, Harry Kane, isn't he? So undoubtedly he's going to be one of the key players for Bayern Munich in this game. An elite goal scorer, can provide as well. Just an absolutely fantastic goal footballer, Harry Kane. And of course, a player that can score that many goals will always be a key player for your side. Joshua Kimmich, an unbelievably versatile player, can play as a centre-half, a midfielder, a right-back, and probably more positions, to be honest. He's so good, Joshua Kimmich. I just think as kind of something that's going to help control the play, get Bayern Munich moving up the pitch. He is such an important player for them. And then alongside him, Leroy Sané. I love Leroy Sané. When he was at Man City, I loved him. Now he's at Bayern Munich. I can love him a little bit more. He's so quick, direct. He's so skillful. Can beat his man every single day of the week. Leroy Sané is a joy to watch. Lost a bit of that pace and that explosiveness when he got that injury, unfortunately. However, he's still got all the attributes to be a top player. I wanted Man United to try and sign him last summer from Bayern Munich, or try and at least tempt him out of Bayern Munich. Obviously, we got Anthony. Less than about that, the better. Top player Leroy Sané. And United are going to be in for a lot of issues if we can't kind of put him down. Looking at the team we're most likely to see Bayern Munich go with, it is this. So Ulreich in goal, as we said, Manuel Neuer is out. Malzawi, Upamecano, Kim Min-jae and Alphonso Davies will probably be the back four. We've seen Konrad Laimer start at right back here and there for Bayern Munich this season. I think it will be Malzawi though. Upamecano and Kim Min-jae have been a centre-back partnership mostly this season, with Matthias de Ligt not looking particularly fancied by Thomas Tuchel when playing a back four. So I think it will be Dayot Upamecano and Kim Min-jae, with Alphonso Davies at left back. As I say, look, Guerreiro's injured, so even if Guerreiro wanted to play and was in good form, he can't. Alphonso Davies, again, a top player, a top athlete, and look, he's quick. He's got a presence going forward, and he's not bad defensively at all, is he? He's a very good player, Alphonso Davies. A player we have to be worried about. Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka make up the midfield double pivot. Again, elite. Both of these elite midfielders. They've as a partnership, as a pair, they've pretty much got it all. There's not much you can say apart from elite. The both of them, elite. Then into the front line is where a few more questions get asked. Harry Kane up top, that is undeniable. That is pretty much guaranteed. However, that line of three behind Harry Kane is where it's up for debate. You've got Sane, Musiala, you've got Coman, you've got Gnabry, you've got, what's his name, Thomas Muller, and I'm sure there's players I'm forgetting. Elite set of attackers there, but I think we will see Musiala, I think we will see Joshua Kimmich, Kingsley Coman, and I think we will see Leroy Sané. I think he'll go with Musiala over Thomas Muller, because I think he will look at Manchester United at the moment. I think he'll look at someone like Casemiro, he's not an old player. He's experienced legs. He's not the quickest. He can't get dart around the field. And you look at Musiala, quick. He's silky. He's got quick feet. He can cause problems if he's running at Casemiro and getting himself about. He can cause a lot of problems. Whereas Thomas Muller, again, similar to Casemiro, he's experienced legs, yes, but it's more with Muller. It's kind of mind over matter sort of thing, if that makes sense. He's not a player that's going to run defenders ragged in a sense. He's gonna just be able to find those pockets of space and use his IQ as opposed to more his athleticism. And I think that kind of player in Thomas Muller would be easier for Casemiro to stop down on Musiala, and that's why I think he will go with Musiala. And then Sane has pretty much played every game this season so far for Bayern Munich. Clearly a favourite of Thomas Tuchel, and I don't blame him. So I think he will almost certainly start on the right. And then it's Gnabry, Coman on the left. I think Thomas Tuchel just prefers Coman, so I think it will be Coman. But again, Harry Kane will almost certainly start up top. When it comes to Manchester United, again, we've got a wall of players missing out. Mason Mount and Rafael Varane. Good news is they are back in training. They're not available for this game. They're not quite ready, but they are back training with the first team. So in a few games, maybe Crystal Palace, they should be back and should be in contention for the first team. But they're not available today. They have not travelled. Luke Shaw started with a muscle injury. Wan-Bissaka picked up a hamstring injury against Brighton, so he will not play. Harry Maguire also hasn't travelled. The rumour is that that is an injury. Whether or not that is true or not, you imagine it is when you look at the travelling squad that we've taken. But Harry Maguire getting injured, it's not great, is it? Especially given he's not playing football at the moment. Tiro Malacia still out injured. Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo. Good news, unlike Varane and Mount, they're not quite back in training with the rest of the squad. However, they are in recovery. They are doing light training on their own, kind of building back fitness as they prepare for the return. Amrabat obviously had that back injury coming when he signed for United. He will probably be back before Mainoo. I think Mainoo will still be a bit of a while. Probably will come back mid-October, as opposed to Amrabat, who I imagine again maybe after Palace. He might be on the bench for Palace in the league, whereas Palace in the game he probably won't be. So he'll be somewhat there. Now, when it comes to the travelling squad and the players we have to pick from on tomorrow, this is who we've got. So we've got Altay Bayindir, we've got Tom Heaton, Andre Onana and Vitek. 4 goalkeepers. It's not ideal, is it? It's not ideal taking 4 goalkeepers. Defenders-wise, Diego Dalot, Victor Lindelof, Lissandro Martinez, Johnny Evans and Sergio Reguilon. So again, I think that back line kind of picks itself. Johnny Evans isn't going to start, is he? Midfielders, we've got a handful in Casemiro, McTominay, Daniel Gore, Eriksen, Hannibal, Mabry and Bruno Fernandes, with a forward line of Palestri. The youngster Forson, who obviously impressed during pre-season, he makes the travelling squad, as well as Alejandro Garnacho, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial and Rasmus Højlund. So not the strongest of squads. We are, of course, missing a lot of players, as we discussed here. Again, if you look at this, Mason Mount, Rafael Varane, Luke Shaw, that's straight away 3 first-team players in the starting 11 missing. Wan-Bissaka, you can make the argument, would start at right back as well. Now, it's a bit far to say Kobe Mainoo would be a first-team player, especially given we've got Casemiro. However, if you look at pre-season, you look at the Arsenal game. In that Arsenal game, we started pretty much our first team, and Kobe Mainoo started over Casemiro. So I'm not saying in the Premier League Mainoo would be starting over Casemiro. Don't get me wrong, I'm not. However, clearly Erik ten Hag has a lot of trust and belief and faith in Kobe Mainoo, and as such, to be missing him is a big miss as well. Now, for a bit of fun, I did think we'll do a combined 11. Now, with these combined 11s, I always say it, these are only players that are fit and available. So, if you want to say Manuel Neuer would start over Andre Onana, I'm not going to have that argument here. But Manuel Neuer, he isn't available, so he's not eligible. Same with Raphael Varane. Same with Luke Shaw. Same with Mason Mount if you put him in. Again, I'm not saying all these players would get in. I'm just saying Man United, Alphonso Davies was always going to get in because he's better than Reguilon. But I don't think, look, either way, it was always going to be a heavily Bayern Munich, wasn't it? So I've gone with Andre Onana in goal. I think he is better than Alright, Ginny. I don't think that's up for debate. Mazawi, Kim Min-jae, Martinez, and not Lisandro Martinez, and Alphonso Davies. I think that kind of picks itself. Kim Min-jae is better than Victor Lindelof, and he's better than Johnny Evans. Mazawi is better than Dalot. Alphonso Davies is better than Reguilon. There's no debate there. Kimmich and Casemiro. I think this is where the first kind of debate can come in. Kimmich and Casemiro, is that the number one? You got Leon Goretzka who misses out for Casemiro. Could you make the argument that it should be Goretzka over one of those two? You could make the argument that maybe you move Kimmich to right back and instead of Mazawi, and then you throw in both. Then you throw in, what's his name? Throw in Goretzka alongside Casemiro. That, maybe, actually I would have done that. No, he doesn't really play right back anymore, does he? Kimmich and Casemiro, but move Kimmich out to right back if it pleases you. The front line, again, pretty much Bayern Munich. Bruno Fernandes just does make it though, doesn't he? He just does make it. You can make the argument Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side as opposed to Kingsley Coman. I just think what Coman has done over the years can't go unnoticed. I think Marcus Rashford has only recently has really kind of under Erik ten Hag has become that elite player, at least output-wise. And I think just overall game, Coman's a better player. And like I say, Coman's got that longevity. He's been there and done it for so long. He's scored a Champions League final winner. He's won the league in every season of professional football he's played, senior professional football. When you have stats like that, you've just got to be in the team, don't you? But before we get into my predictions for what teams I believe we should be playing and what team I believe Erik ten Hag will play, please do hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated and it would help to get this counter in the top corner ticking on up. Now, what team do I believe Erik ten Hag will go with today? Well, I actually think he will go with a completely unchanged lineup. I think you look at the squad that's travelled, I don't think it's a great one. We don't have that many options. I think if you can't trust Pellistri, you can't trust Garnacho to start on that right-hand side up against Brighton, what are the chances that we're going to trust him? What are the chances that Erik ten Hag is going to trust him to start against Bayern Munich? Very, very little. As I say, obviously Andre Onana will start in goal. That back four picks itself. And at that point, the midfield, again, like I say, Garnacho or Pellistri couldn't start against Brighton. They're not going to start against Bayern Munich, are they? Hello, mate. How are we? Ayuba? Is that how you pronounce that? If it is, brilliant. If it's not, I am sorry. Ayuba. I'm going to guess that's how you pronounce it, though. Now, if we do start with this diamond, I will be a little bit disappointed. I don't like the diamond. I don't think it was great. I think it takes Marcus Rashford off that left-hand side where he is best and puts him central, which I think it's a bit of a mess sometimes. I wouldn't have Marcus Rashford through the middle. However, I think he will go with it. I think Erik ten Hag believes it worked well, at least for the first half an hour or so. And I think he will try it again. Personally, this is the team I would go with. I would stick Eriksen in there. I think Eriksen, Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro as a free, they have a good record when playing together. We've only lost about 4 or 5 games when they've played together. And obviously that was our main midfield trio last season, aside from when Christian Eriksen got injured. So it's a midfield that has proven to work. And look, if we had Fred still, I would throw Fred in there. If Amrabat was fit, I would throw Amrabat in there. But they're not, and Scott McTominay is a waste of space. So I'm not throwing him in there. So for me, that has to be the free. And like I said, I don't want to play the diamond. So that means Alejandro Garnacho or Palestri has to play. And I would just go with Alejandro Garnacho. I think he's further along in his development. I think he's a better player as it is. And because of that, I would start Garnacho. If you put Palestri in there, I don't blame you. I don't mind Palestri playing. I think both have a lot of talent. Both have big futures or have futures here. I just think at the moment, Garnacho is better. And as such, you go with him, especially in a game like this. Now, like I say, big game. It's Bayern Munich, isn't it? It's Bayern Munich. Of course, it's a big game. What's my score prediction? Look, I have to say I don't think we win this, and I don't think that's going to be a controversial thing to say. Bayern Munich are one of the best teams in the world, and they've got most of their first team are fit. We've got so many players out. Look, the squad we're taking over there is a joke, really. 4 goalkeepers. We're taking 6 defenders. No, 5 defenders. We play a back 4. We're gonna have 1 defender on our bench. That squad we're taking is a mess, an absolute mess. So it's one of those where we're going against a better team anyway, and alongside them being the better team, they've got pretty much their full squad while we're very much depleted. It's going to be a tough game for the defenders, and keeping Harry Kane quiet isn't going to be easy. Keeping Leroy Sané quiet, Gnabry, whether that's Musiala or Muller, not going to be an easy game. I'm gonna have to say a Bayern Munich win. It's not going to be the ideal start to our Champions League campaign, but I'm going to say a 3-0 Bayern Munich win. I think it could get quite ugly, to be honest. But fingers crossed it's not. And as I said, we will be doing a watch along for it. So if it does get ugly, you'll be there to see my pain. You'll be there to see my suffering. As they put the third in, you'll see me cry. But look, that is going to be it from me today. If you have enjoyed, please hit that like button below and subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. And please do hit that notification bell, so when I do go live for the watch along, you will be notified and you can join the chat. You can join the conversation with the watch along and watch as we, fingers crossed, prove me wrong and beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. But anyway, that is going to be it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one in a bit.